Hello Roulette fans, it's TeKKa Roulette back with another video, and we are back on the TeKKa tournament. We have reached session 3, but before we get into the video, I would just like to say something. So before we get started today, I just need to be upfront with everybody, right? This is important. In my last session, I used a very aggressive progression on the 26 racetrack pocket strategy. And after reviewing the data really properly, I've realized actually it was a mistake. The loss levels that strategy can reach far exceeds the actual 5 progressions that I stated to use in that video. Okay, so it's not safe or sustainable approach to use that progression. It was just a silly idea. I don't know what I was thinking. But please do not try and play aggressive strategies like that on high coverage bets. When you're playing 26 pockets or more, or maybe a little bit less, trying to win back a loss in one spin is dangerous. And it is dangerous. So please don't try that progression or think that I am recommending that progression. I am categorically not. I wish I never showed the strategy. I wish I just showed the strategy with a martingale and then pitted it against the going up 1 unit at a time and see how they got on. That's what I might do in another video. I will do some analysis and show you how dangerous that progression is, going from 1 unit per 26 pockets to 500 units per pocket on 26 pockets in 5 progressions is ludicrous, and I am very sorry for even contemplating using it. I got lucky in that session. I'm sure that I would have got whacked if I continued playing. So just remember, this content is for entertainment purposes only, showing my journey. I am not asking anybody to copy or imitate anything I do on this channel. This is nothing more and nothing less than my journey. It is not financial advice, because remember, I'm just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette. I don't have a beer. I use the beer money to have a spin. And with that said, let's get back to the TeKKa tournament and let's see what's happening in this session. So, TeKKa tournament strategies in League 1. We've got the recent 7 streets, which we played in session 1. We had the recent does position, which we played in session 2. Today, session 3, we're going to play the recent 2 dozens, and then in the next video, we'll be playing the recent 9 streets. We play the strategy for 30 spins in the video, and then at the end, we do the analysis to see how the other 3 strategies would have done in that session, and then we put it in the league table to see how they got on, and we are going to try and find the winner of League 1 after 4 sessions, and they will go through to the next stage of the tournament. So after session 2, where are we at? Current early win leader is the recent 2 dozens, $248 in profit. $180 profit for the recent 7 streets, $120 profit for the recent 9 streets, and currently at the bottom, my personal favourite, the recent does position with $114 in profit after 2 sessions. So they're all in profit, which is a nice thing to see. And the only caveat with the tournament is we do not stop at bang on 30 because it's not fair. If a system is in a losing progression, recovery progression, we give it up to 5 spins to try and get out of that recovery progression. That is what we are doing. That is one of the rules. So, session 3, play the 2 most recent dozens to win. Big thank you to Jack Ace again. I've used this tool just to show you an example of the bet. So you play the 2 most recent dozens to hit. So recovery method is going to be martingale. Once in a recovery progression, so once you've lost once, you need 2 wins in a row, then you can reset. But if you lose again, you go up a progression. If you get a win-loss-win pattern during your recovery progression, you can move back 1 progression level on that recovery progression. And then essentially you reset at new session profit. If you can go back 1 progression to achieve this, we will. So there you go. So max progressions we are willing to bet this session is, again, 6 to 7 progressions. The maximum bankroll, we've got 125 times the initial bet stake. We have the $1,000 bankroll, and it's $4 per dozen. So it's $8 total bet, $1 per street, essentially. So there we go. That is what we are doing. So nothing more to do. Let's get into the session today and let's see how we get on.
Please.
So here we go. The wheel is spinning. We are on the auto wheel today. Let's see how well we can do. So we haven't got a bet on yet. We're waiting for this spin. In the top, you can see the last results, and then in the top
31,
right
black.
Underneath the results, you can see the
Please place
4
your bets.
different strategies. So 31 and 20. So we're on the 2nd and 3rd dozen.
Bets closing.
So we put our 4 units on each. We're just going to save that as our base
No more
bet.
bets, please.
So we'll just call it 2 dozens, and then that's our base bet, and then we'll just have to move one of them potentially if we need to. So let's see what we get on this spin. Like I said, 30 spins is what we're
36.
aiming for. That's a 36 and has won.
Please place your bets.
Like I said, the bankroll is $1,000. The balance is not the bankroll. Just to be clear. That one with a 36, so we've just repeated the bet. Still on the 2nd and 3rd
No more bets, please.
dozen. We are on the auto wheel today, so hopefully it won't be too low. These are long spins, though, aren't they? So let me know, do you like playing the recent 2 dozens?
Please
To 31,
place your
that's
bets.
also one. Nice start. 2 wins in a row.
Bets closing. No more bets, please.
I do like the recent 2 dozens, but it's just one I don't overly go to that often. I don't know why. It normally plays really well as well, so I don't know why I don't. I like to use
22.
different ways. The
Black.
recent 7 streets,
You
the
win.
recent Does positions. They're the ones I like. 22 also won for us, so we are on to
Bets closing.
the same bet again, still on level 1. 3 wins in a row currently.
No more bets, please.
$12 of profit from $24 invested. 50% return on investment currently. Good thing about this one, it's super easy to play, isn't it? It's easy to get the bet on. That's a 15,
Please
and that's
place
one as
your
well.
bets.
And just sometimes when a dozen goes missing, this is the best system to play in the
Bets
world.
closing.
So people go on about, oh, sometimes a dozen will go missing for 30 spins. You're playing
No more
follow
bets,
the
please.
winner, recent 2 dozens, you are running to the bank if you get in one of them progressions, one of them streaks, because it's just like you can never lose. Well, you can lose and you will lose at some point, but when you get into that progression, that's what happens. So we've won again with a 24.
Please place your bets.
Nice 5-win progression streak at the minute. It won't last forever, but we'll
Bets
take
closing.
it whilst it is happening. Good thing as well about the
No
recent
more
2
bets,
dozens.
please.
2 wins in a row and you're guaranteed to be out of any progression. Doesn't matter how many levels you have gone. If it wins twice in a row, you will be in session profit. That is how the bet works. 9 streaks,
13
that's a
left.
13 and 1.
You win.
So we're
Please
repeating the
place your
bet. We
bets.
haven't changed the bet so far. We're on the 2nd and 3rd dozen.
Bets
9
closing.
streaks, you would need 3 wins to be guaranteed to be in session profit. If you have lost a spin, sometimes you only need
No
2,
more bets, please.
sometimes you need 2.5. But with this one, you're guaranteed to be in session profit after 2 spins. With recent 7 streaks, you're guaranteed to be in session profit after 1.5 spins
4
in a progression. So that was a 4, and that's
Please
our
place
first
your bets.
loss. So we are going on to the first dozen and the 2nd dozen. So we've moved the 3rd dozen token
Bets
to the
closing.
1st, and we've doubled our bet. So now we need 2 wins at this
No more
level,
bets, please.
so then we can reset. 6 wins, 1 loss. That is above expectation. We should be winning. For every 2 wins, we should see 1 loss. So are we going to see a few losses now? I don't know.
14
That's jumped
red.
onto a 14, so
You
that's
win.
1. So we've got
Please
one of our
place your
wins.
bets.
That's taken us back to what our profit was, but we need to gain a new session profit. So we are going to repeat the bet. The only time I don't use the win-loss-win approach
more
is
bets,
on
please.
the $8 progression, because I wouldn't have reached session high and I would have reset back to my base level bet. That's the only reason. The other good thing about when you do get 2 wins on a recovery progression is that
9
that's a 9 we did.
You
We
win.
did do that.
Please
So now
place your bets.
we're on $32 profit. We can now reset. So we put that save bet on and we've
Bets
moved the
closing.
3rd dozen back to the 1st dozen. Yeah, the other good thing about when you win in a progression, so
No
you need
more
your 2
bets,
wins
please.
to get out of the progression, but you win 2 units of the base level profit. So our base level profit is $4 here, but once we're in a losing progression and we're in a recovery progression, when we get our 2 wins,
24
we will win
red.
$8 of
Please place your
profit
bets.
above the old session high, at least. So we lost again with a
Bets
34.
closing.
So we are now on the 1st and 3rd dozen, again onto the 2nd progression. So that's a nice little thing. Whereas with the 9 street progressions, you still only really get 1 unit of base level profit when you get out of a progression. Whereas with the recent 2 dozens, sorry, you do get 2 units of profit when you get out of a progression. That was a 1, so that's 1 win at the second progression. So we'll repeat this and try and get a second one. So yeah, we're back to our $32 profit. That's where we were before we lost. So as you can see, if we can get another win, we will get 2 units of profit, which will take us up to $40. But we haven't won the spin yet. So let's just wait and see what happens. So yeah, let me know how everyone is doing. Let me know what you think about the tournament. You know, I do like a comment. I do like trying return. The last video did really, really well. I was really happy with the last video. That's a 10. So we have got our 2 wins. We can now go back to base level bet. And essentially, yeah, over 1,000 views the last video got. And it was the one where I was comparing the aggressive progression, which I'm not joking. I don't know why I showed it. I feel really bad showing it and just silly. Then I showed the martingale as well, and then we showed up going up 1 unit at a time, and we did a little bit of analysis on it. That's a 33 and 1. So we will repeat the bet. Yeah, I did. So for most of the video it was good, but I wish I'd played the martingale strategy and just shown the aggressive progression on the spreadsheet and did the analysis on it. I would not play, do not play that aggressive strategy. It is far too aggressive. And the reason I was playing it was because I thought that the way playing the recent neighbors plus 8 and the opposite neighbors plus 4,
21.
That's the 21 and has lost. So we're going to have to go to the second progression. I thought it was a bet where we'd done something amazing and it wouldn't ever get to a high loss level, because that's what I'd seen in the about 1,500 spins which I'd analysed. But no system has a magic trick. You know, you'll still get your loss levels. You will still get your expected loss levels, and in real life, the losing streaks are normally can reach higher than the expected loss level. So that was a 26 and 1.
Please place your bets.
So we are trying to get our second win on this one now. We've currently played 15 spins. Yeah, so
no more bets, please.
I do like the strategy of playing the near neighbors plus 8 on the last spin result and the opposite near neighbors plus 4. I do like that strategy, but it's just the progression that you use to play it is what you've got to think about, and do not use the aggressive one. I would say a martingale is probably best. Someone did say in the comments, could I do a progression where you always win in 2 wins? So I might have a look at trying to do that, see if we can work out what the progression would be to make sure that you won in 2. You just needed 2 wins and you definitely get out of the progression. See how high that progression got to. So I'm going to have a look at that. But again, that might still be a bit aggressive. I'm not sure. So I'll have a little look anyway. That was an 11 and we lost.
Please place your bets.
So we're back to our second progression again on the first and third dozens. So far today, the highest progression we've got to is the second progression.
Bets,
haven't had to get to the third progression. We haven't lost twice in a row, or we haven't lost whilst we were in a recovery progression currently. 17 spins in, got 13 left. Those positions currently on a 2 loss level. That was a 2 and 1, so that's 1 win. See if we can get our second win and get out of the progression. Yeah, so going forward, like I said, we've got another video for this league to come. We will be doing a second league. Let me know what you want to see in the second league. You know, get involved. Let me know what you think could challenge these 4 strategies in the next stage, and we will do it. I think I will put in the 26 pocket racetrack strategy on a martingale system. That was a 15 that lost. So now we are going to have to go to our third progression. On the first and second, because we are following the winner. So the results we're looking at, which were the last 2 dozens to hit. So this is progression 3. And that slipped into 18. That's 1 win. Right.
Please place your bets.
So we had a win-loss win.
Bets closing.
So we can drop our bets down to the previous progression.
Bets,
and then we'll still reach them 2 units of initial bet profit from this progression. So we're $51 currently, but that's lost. See, and the other thing about that is now, obviously, we lost, so we are still only back onto the third progression because we dropped it back down to the second progression because we had a win-loss-win. Now, we're only at the progression 3 instead of progression 4. We've only got 6/7, probably 6 at the minute because we haven't got the bankroll to put 7 on. We've only got 6 progressions anyway. So using the bankroll management that way is really, really sensible. When you can reduce your bets. That's what I do. That's what I'm showing you what I do. So that's 4. See, that's lost again. Now we're getting in a bit of a hole. So we're now onto $32 bet. $64 in total. This is progression 4.
No more bets, please.
See, so six progressions is costs just over $500 if you lost 6 progressions in a row.
27.
We have got 1 win now, so that's a 27 with a win. Because we've lost twice in a row, we need to stay at this level. We wouldn't get back to our session profit, so we are going to have to stay at this level.
Bets closing.
Because we did have 1 win in the recovery progression. If we do win this, we will also have won a little bit extra as well. But we don't go down fractions of progression levels. We either drop down 1 progression level or we just stay where we are.
9.
That's a 9. We've got our 2 wins. We are in session profit. $67 in profit now, and we're back to $4 per dozen first progression.
Bets closing.
We have played 24 spins. We've got 6 left. Let's see if we can win most of these. And like I said, don't forget we do have the 5 extra spins after the 30, just in case any of the 4 progressions do not get out of recovery progression by spin 30, we do give them the 5 up to a 5 spin grace. But as soon as they get out of the
24.
recovery progression,
Red.
then
You win.
that's the
Please
session
place your
stopped.
bets.
That's a 34. And that one. So we're still on level 1. 18 wins
Closing.
and 7 losses. So we're still above expectation.
No more bets, please.
$71 profit, you know, from an $8 bet. It's not bad. Almost 10 initial bets. We've nearly won 10 initial bets. So
26.
that's the 26 and has also won.
You win. Please place your bets.
Still on the first and third dozens, following the winners.
Bets.
Be nice to
Closing.
see how the other strategies get on today with these numbers.
No more bets, please.
I'm not sure which will be the best. I haven't been paying attention to the top right corner and the other loss levels of the other 3 strategies in the league. I did see the dust position had a 2 loss level once, but haven't overly been looking, so I'm not sure. That's 11 and also 1.
You win. Please place your bets.
3 more spins of the 30 left.
Bets closing.
Yeah, so who do you think will win the league? Who's going to win this very first league? Is it going to be the recent 7 streets? Is it going to be this one, the recent 2 dozens? Is it going to be the recent 9 streets? Or is it going to be the other 9 street bet, the not does position? Let me know what you think will be the best.
19.
That's a 19 though, so that's
Please
coming a bit.
place your bets.
That's lost with 2 spins to go. So we'll move that to the second dozen from the third,
Closing.
and we will double our bet. Can it get the 2 wins so it can finish on 30 spins, or are we going to be going into the bonus spins to try and get out of the recovery? Let's have a look. But generally today, this has played pretty well. It had that one little dip where we had to. Oh, it has lost. So we are going to the third progression. So is this its second dip of the day? Coming right at the end. Never the best place to be. Don't want to dip at the end of your session.
No more bets, please.
In the middle, as long as you can get out and recover, you don't really mind too much. So we still need 2 wins to get out of the progression. Currently on level 3. Is the recovery going to be straightforward? So this is spin 30 and we get
24.
a 24. We've got 1 win.
You win.
So if we can win the next spin, we'll be out of the progression. And we will have finished for this strategy.
No more bets, please.
Let's see what happens. Let's win and then we can go and sort some stuff out.
25.
That was a 25. So we have one. There we go. We have got $88 in profit. 22 wins, 9 losses, 535 or $536
closing.
Invested. Right, so we've got 31 spins. We need another 4 spins just so in case we need them. So let's just quickly look at these last 4 spins so we know what they are. And then we can go and look at what's going on.
6 black.
That was a 6.
Please place your
So that would have actually lost for us, but we've session's finished. Don't care what happens now. Our session's finished.
Bets closing.
So we've got 3 more spins that we need.
No more bets, please.
Yeah, I'm going to do some more of the low bankroll as well. That's a 21. I'm going to do a bit more of the low bankroll, but I have not yet
Bets closing.
got round to editing it. So I have recorded it.
No more bets, please.
But I just need to find time to edit it, and then I'll get that up. So 2 more spins, and then we can go and do some analysis.
$10 black.
That was a 10.
Please place your bets. Bets closing.
Yeah, so 1 more we need.
No more
And then
bets,
we can
please.
go and have a look what's going on. And the final number for the 35 spins is 33. There we go. Right. So here we go. Let's quick recap on the recent 2 dozens. So started off with 6 wins, nicely going. We got a loss, but won twice. We lost again and won twice. Then we hit another loss at 14 spins. We got our 2 wins recovery. Then we got into our between 17 and 22. This is our little bit of trouble, but we come out of it with 2 wins after 24 spins. Nice 5 wins in a row. And then at the end, we got a double loss, but then we won twice and got $88 profit in 31 spins. Nice. Right. That was the recent 2 dozens. Now we're going to look at the recent does position. So let's see how that did. So started off with 3 wins. Nice. Got to $9 profit. Then it lost once, but recovered with 2 wins. So we're in session profit. So we will reset. Then it lost once, won once. So we're still at the 2nd progression. Then it lost and lost. So we had to get to the 4th progression. Then we won 3 times. So we won twice. And then we reduced our bet because we could. Because our session high profit was 9. And then we got to $15 profit. So we could reset. We had 2 more wins. So $21 profit after 15 spins. Then we hit 2 losses, got to the 3rd progression. The 3rd progression of 9 streaks, you need 2.5 wins. So we 2 wins, dropped it back 1 progression, won that. So we are now $24 in profit after 20 spins. And we reset to base bet. We will have a couple 3 wins. Then we get 2 more losses by spin 25. So we've got to the 3rd progression again. But again, we need 2.5 wins to get out of the progression. So we got 2 wins at the 3rd progression, went back down to the 2nd. And then we coasted home with another couple of wins. But cumulative profit, $42. So I don't think it was that bad a session, really. We had a couple. There was a little bit 4 spins where it was a bit dodgy, but Nice session. The only issue with it is, and we $42 profit, so it wasn't as good as the recent 2 dozens again. So let's have a look at the other 9 street bet. So again, that won the first 3, then lost, then won twice, so it got out of the progression and got reset, won another couple of times, then lost. But it recovered with 2 wins at progression 2, then it lost again, then won with 2 progressions. 2 wins at progression 2. Then it had 2 losses. So we had to go to the 3rd progression, but we only need 2.5 wins. So we have 2 wins at progression 3. We drop it to progression 2 and win again. So then we can reset. So that's after 19 spins. We're on $27 of profit. Then we've gone a bit choppy here. So we've gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss. So I had to go to the 5th progression, 2 wins on the 5th progression, and because we were getting a couple of wins during the recovery progression, we could drop it down to the $72 bet, but that lost, so we had to go back up to $144 bet. We won once. We needed a second one and we lost it. So then we had to go up to the $288 bet, which is, I think, the 5th progression. We won twice and we got into session high profit, because session high profit was, before that was 27. So we got to 30. And again, we were managing our bankroll there. And if we hadn't have reduced the bets when we decided to, because we could, and get into a new session high profit, we would have lost our bankroll in that session for the recent 9 street. So the bankroll management of reducing a bet when we can to still reach session high profit with the final win paid off for us in that session. So 32 spins, so that did go into the bonus spins just to make sure that it could get out of the progression, but it did get out of the progression, so there's that one. So, and then the final one for today is the recent 7 streets. Let's see how this one did. So started off with a couple of wins, $10 in profit, then it had a couple of losses, and don't forget, the most you only ever need is a 1.5 wins to get out of a progression. So we got to the 3rd progression, we won that. So then we dropped back down to the 2nd progression, we won that. And now we're in $19 of profit after 6 spins. We lost, then we won, but with the 7 streets, winning once at progression level 2 after 1 loss will get you in session profit, so you can reset. So we went a bit choppy, so loss, win, loss, win. So then after 10 spins, we were back at base level, but then we lost 6 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've lost 6 times in a row. So we're at level 7. That is the maximum progression we can go to. So we have, look at that there. So we were minus 416 and we had to put on a $448 bet. So what's that? That's almost $900 of the bankroll we're using here. But we won. Then we dropped it down 1 progression, like we say they have to for this progression. That one, and now we're up to $64 in profit. So sometimes this is the good thing about this strategy. It recovers well. It does recover well. Then we had 2 losses and a win. Then we lost, and then we won. So here, when you're in a recovery progression, and if you went win, loss, win, you actually still in session profit. So that's good. Then we had a couple of losses. Then we won. A couple more losses. Then we won. So we were on progression 1, 2, 3, 4. Got on to the 5th progression. Then we lost. We had to go to the 6th progression on bet 31, spin 31. We won that one, and we're on $118 profit for that, which is not bad, really. So here is all the data from the session, as you can see. So 3 of the systems had to go into the 5 spins. So let's go and have a look at the table. Right, today's session. So the winner today in match day 3 was the recent 7 streets with $118 profit. Then the recent 2 dozens. Then the recent does position with $42. And then bringing up the rear today was the recent 9 streets with $30 profit. But they all had a profit. So who spent the most money today? The recent 7 streets spent the most money today. So we had to place 1,946 compared to 536 in the recent 2 dozens. Whereas previously we've seen the recent 2 dozens was the system which was having to place the most bets, and today it placed the least amount of bets. Interesting. And that's when we played it live on the wheel as well. So then let's look at the lowest balances. So obviously the recent 7 streets got down to $136 balance. The recent 2 dozens only used $60 of its bankroll during the whole session. The does position got down, only used $120 of its balance, and the 9 streets used $450 of its bankroll. So if we look at the wins, so the recent 7 streets did the best today in profit, but obviously it lost the most. It's expected to lose the most, but it's supposed to win more times than it loses, and it lost 18 times and only won 13 times. You know, it's 21 pockets it's covering, so you would expect something more like 16 wins to 14 losses, something like that. So it is a little bit behind expectation, whereas the recent 2 dozens was almost bang on with 22, so just over 22 to 9. The recent does position was below expectation as well, only winning 2 to every 1 loss when it should be winning 3 times for every 1 loss. And same with the 9 street. Recent 9 street did not perform as well as it should either, because it's only got a 2-to-1 ratio as well instead of a 3-to-1 ratio. So that is all interesting. So let's go and have a look what this means for the overall league. After 3 sessions, we have still the recent 2 dozens out on top with $336 in profit, $298 of profit for the recent 7 streets. The recent does position has now got to position 3 with $156 profit and $150 profit for the recent 9 streets. These are, they played 90 to 95 spins. It's not too bad, really. We're doing, $1 bets on the streets. So, it's either a $7, $8 or $9 bet. Not bad. Look at added a new column today, return on investment. The top 2 are winning on the return on investments, with the recent 7 streets just slightly ahead on the return on investment. Whereas the recent dozens and the recent 9 streets 3 or 4% down on the return on investment. So there we go. That was session 3 of the TeKKa tournament. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Who's going to have the final push on session 4 and be crowned league winner? I don't know, but we will find out in the next video. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, add a comment. It does all help to make YouTube say to other people, why don't you try TeKKa's channel out? I will be doing lots more stuff in the near future. I'm going to try and do some new good stuff. I really am going to do a bit more analysis. I am just thinking the best way to do things. I am trying to sort out my screen structure on the videos as well. So hopefully that will be a bit more pleasing to the eye. But I'm just hoping that the content can continue and be good. So with that said, everyone, just remember, I'm just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette. I don't have a beer. I have a spin with my beer money. And if I make a profit, I can go and have a beer. So with that said, as always, stay safe and I will catch you on the next one.